Welcome to this ERPA virtual presentation 2009. My name is Felix Saurikiraj. I am an assistant professor working in the Center for Educational Media and Technology, and my office is the National Institute of Technical Teachers Training and Research, Chennai, which is coming under Ministry of Human Resource Development, Government of India. And my office is located at the southern part of India at Chennai, eastern side of Bay of Bengal. The title of my study is Enacting Open Educational Practices OEP for Meaningful Instructional Practices in Massive Open Online Courses, in short MOOCs. To give a brief about MOOCs, in India we have a flagship program called SWAYAM MOOCs. SWAYAM is the indigenous platform of MHRD Government of India, providing an integrated platform for hosting massive open online course MOOCs developed under the aegis of NME ICT, which stands for National Mission on Education through Information Communication Technology. It's a Government of India project to adapt the MOOCs concept to supplement formal education system in our country from high school to higher education. The name SWAYAM stands for Study Webs of Active Learning for Young Aspiring Minds. We NITTTR have been working as the national coordinator for teacher training MOOCs for SWAYAM platform. We have offered a course last year, namely e-content development. We used four-quadrant approach where we had e-tutorial in the form of video and audio content. We had the second quadrant of e-content for additional learning materials in the form of PDFs, ebooks, presentations, case studies, books, anecdotes, etc. For the third quadrant, we had assessment of multiple choice questions, short answer, quizzes, assignments, and solutions. For the fourth quadrant, we had interactions using discussion forums. So, as a coordinator for the MOOC course offered by my office, NITTTR Chennai, in the form of e-content development MOOC, we had quite a lot of interactions and experiences which we want to share, and we want to study and learn more on MOOC education. So we conduct this study. The purpose of the study is to explore whether open educational practices in MOOCs environment help in adopting collaborative learning through the affordance of Web 2.0 tools. What is open educational practices? Use of open educational resources in any form. It can be PDF, it can be video, it can be quizzes, it can be modules, or it can be a small module content of a e-content. It can be any form, but when we use open educational resources for teaching and learning in order to innovate the learning process, it is a form of open educational practices. Open technologies and high quality open educational resources facilitate collaborative and flexible learning is also a form of OEP. OEP are also viewed as the next phase in OER development, which transforms to 21st century learning and learners. The framework of the study. In this study, we have used constructive alignment principle developed by Professor John Binns, which deals with effective instructional practice in terms of four elements, namely learning outcomes, selection and use of open educational resources, training, teaching activities, or in short, training or teaching learning activities, and finally, assessment. The research question is, to what extent is MOOCs help in improving digital skills from the elements of instruction like learning outcomes, OERs, teaching learning practices, and assessment. So when it comes to learning outcomes, we want to find out to what degree the students and the faculty and the other stakeholders are involved collaboratively in designing learning outcomes, whether there is flexibility or not. Second, we want to see whether the students or learners participating in MOOC are able to select and use open educational resources, which is helpful for them as well as for the general colleagues of the MOOC participants. Thirdly, we want to see how the teaching learning practices are, whether there is flexibility, whether the students and teachers are able to collaborate in and interact in discussion forums, how they are empowered, and whether it is student-centric type of learning when it comes to online education. Finally, we want to see how the students' learning are assessed, whether they are able to achieve the learning outcomes through the learning practices, to what extent they are able to achieve the learning outcomes, and whether we are facilitating peer-to-peer learning and qualitative way of assessment. The findings are, to an extent, MOOC studies indicate that MOOCs are teacher-centric in nature in terms of its outcomes, teaching learning events, and assessment. Thank you. I hope of writing this into a full paper and submitting to this conference. Thank you for your patient listening. Have a nice day. Thank you.